My name is Nina. My husband Adam and I had been married for 6 years. We lived in a beautiful apartment on the 15th floor of a tall building in the city. From the outside, everything looked perfect. Friends called us lucky. Family called us blessed. But inside those walls, there was only silence. It wasn't always like this. In the beginning, we talked for hours about silly dreams, about traveling the world together, about the names we would give our future children. We laughed until our stomachs hurt. We shared secrets no one else knew. But slowly, like water dripping from a tap, the words disappeared. One missed conversation turned into two. Two turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Neither of us noticed when exactly the silence began. Adam started working late. Every night the office needed him. At least that's what he said. I stopped asking questions. I stopped setting the table for two. The food became cold. The empty chair across from me felt heavier than any argument we never had. Sometimes I would stand by the window and watch the city below. Thousands of people, thousands of conversations, and here in this apartment, nothing. I wondered if Adam ever thought about me during the day. I wondered if he missed my voice. One rainy Saturday, Adam left early for work. I walked around the empty apartment. The silence was louder than ever. I decided to clean the bedroom closet. Maybe staying busy would help. Maybe it would make the loneliness quieter. In the back of the closet, behind old coats and forgotten shoes, I found a small wooden box. It was covered in dust. I had never seen it before. I sat on the floor, placed the box in my lap, and opened it slowly. Inside were letters, dozens of them, tied together with a faded blue ribbon. Love letters. Adam wrote them when we first met, when he was too shy to say the words out loud, when his heart was full and brave. My hands trembled as I untied the ribbon. I opened the first letter. It read, "Nina, I saw you today at the bookstore. You were holding a cup of coffee and laughing with your friend. I wanted to walk over. I wanted to say something clever, but I just stood there frozen. Maybe tomorrow I'll be braver." I smiled. I remembered that bookstore. I remembered those days. I read another letter. "Tonight you held my hand for the first time. We were walking by the river. It was cold. Your fingers were cold, but my heart was so warm. I think I am falling in love with you." A tear slipped down my cheek. When did we stop holding hands? Letter after letter, I remembered the man I married. The man who wrote poetry for me. The man who noticed the color of my dress. The man who said he would never stop talking to me. Where did that man go? Then I found the last letter in the box. It was different. The envelope was sealed. It was addressed to me. The date on it was 1 year ago. He wrote it, but never gave it to me. I opened it with shaking hands. The handwriting was messy. Some words were smudged. It read, "My love, I don't know how to say this. I know we are lost. I know we don't talk anymore. We sit in the same room and feel miles apart. But I don't know how to cross that distance. I miss your laugh. I miss the way you said my name. I miss us. Please help me find my way back. Please don't give up on me. I held the letter against my chest and cried for all the lost conversations, for all the cold dinners, for the silence that grew like a wall between us. I had been waiting for Adam to speak, but he had been waiting too. We were both lost, both hurting, both afraid. I looked around the bedroom, his side of the bed, his pillow, the book he was reading still on the nightstand. He was still here. Not gone, just lost. And maybe, just maybe, he could be found again. That evening, Adam came home late as always. He opened the door quietly, expecting darkness. But the lights were on. I was sitting on the sofa, waiting. I didn't feel angry. I felt tired and hopeful at the same time. I stood up and walked toward him. Without saying a word, I held up the unopened letter. Adam stared at it. His face went pale. Then his eyes filled with tears. All the words he couldn't say for a year were written on that small piece of paper. He opened his mouth to speak, but nothing came out. So I spoke first. I found your letters, I whispered. All of them. The ones you wrote when you were brave. And this one. The one you wrote when you were scared. Adam broke down. He fell to his knees and held my hands. I'm sorry, he said again and again. I didn't know how to come back. I wanted to. Every day I wanted to. But the silence was too loud. We sat on the floor together, just like I had done that morning. But this time I wasn't alone. We talked for hours about the silence, about the loneliness, about the work, the distance, the fears we never shared. It was painful, but it was real. That night, we didn't sleep much. But we didn't need to. We were too busy remembering each other. Adam made tea at 3 in the morning. I burned the toast. We laughed for the first time in years. It felt strange. Good and strange. The next day, Adam came home early. He brought flowers, not expensive roses, but simple white daisies. My favorite. I had forgotten I ever told him that. He had remembered. Days turned into weeks. The silence didn't disappear overnight. Old habits are hard to break. But something had changed. We started eating together again. We asked about each other's day. Sometimes the conversations were short. Sometimes they were deep. But they were there. The silence was shrinking. One evening, Adam came home with a small box wrapped in brown paper. He placed it on the dinner table. I looked at him with curious eyes. What is this? I asked. He smiled nervously. Open it, he said. Inside was a new notebook, leather cover, empty cream pages, and a pen. Let's write letters again, he said softly. Even when words are hard, even when I'm scared, I'll write to you and you write to me. No silence. Just words. I picked up the notebook and held it close. I didn't say yes right away. Instead, I opened the first page and began to write. Adam watched me, his heart beating fast. When I finished, I handed the notebook to him. He read my first entry. It said, "My love, today you gave me a notebook. Today you remembered white daisies. Today you came home early. Today the silence lost and we won. He looked up at me. Tears were streaming down his face. I was crying too, but this time they were happy tears. From that night on, the notebook became our bridge. Some days the entries were long. Some days just one sentence. Thinking of you. Thank you for listening. I love you. But every word was a small victory against the silence. Months later, I found the old wooden box again. I opened it and placed the new notebook inside, right next to the old love letters, the past and the present, the silence and the healing. All together. All part of our story. One Sunday morning, we sat on the balcony together. The city was waking up below us. Adam held my hand. Do you remember that day? He asked. The day you found the letter? I nodded. I almost threw it away, I said. I'm glad you didn't, Adam whispered. He squeezed my hand. You saved us, I said softly. He shook his head gently and smiled. No, he said. We saved each other. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next video.